All right. All right. Welcome to another Consult ROI podcast. We're getting the ball rolling here. It's been a long time. It's been a very long time since we've done a podcast. We had some recordings from that we didn't release. But frankly, where I disappeared to was getting a lot of other work done. There was just a lot of things that came up, and I was kind of in the grind of things. So we are getting the ball rolling. It's now got to the point where some of the chaos has subsided in my companies to where we can actually focus on this and give it the full attention that it deserves, which is really providing ROI and value to you, our listeners and group. So I want to kind of explain the things that are happening and the changes that are going on. First of all, we are going to be building a big group, which is going to have a lot of like-minded people that are about providing value, that are really about providing balance, and that understand the importance of having balance in family life, their business, and everything else to really achieve that ultimate ROI in life. So you will really want to pay attention to that, because a lot of the people that we're bringing on and a lot of the value that we're doing is going to be stuff that you would normally have to pay for. And just because it's free does not mean it's going to be any less value. And like anything, there's always going to be some dirt you have to sift through to get the gold nuggets, but it's going to be worth it as long as you implement the advice that's being talked about. I guarantee if you implement a lot of the advice, you're going to be successful. But I've got a special guest with me. He's been on the podcast before. He's been an awesome friend and colleague that I've been able to get to know and over the years. And we're honestly happy to have him on board in that, and being one of our master coaches and teachers in our group, which is exactly what his background is, frankly. But I'm going to let him introduce himself and kind of what he's doing and what he's looking at bringing to the table, and what made you want to jump on board. But without any further ado, Danny, do you want to take the floor?
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much, Cameron. I appreciate it. Super excited to be here. I'm Danny Jessup. As Cameron mentioned, I was on a previous episode of the Consult ROI podcast, and I'm excited to be a staple of the podcast moving forward, and to join in several times, throughout the next year and beyond. So really glad to be here. And so, yeah, I'm Danny Jessup. I live in Lehi, Utah. Grew up in Salt Lake City, graduated from the University of Utah, and with my bachelor's degree in business management. So I've always been a fan of business, entrepreneurship, all those different things there. And after a little while, I realized that I wanted just a little bit more out of my education. So I also went back and got my master's degree in teaching and learning with technology. Now, throughout this entire process, I've got a beautiful wife, Carla, and our 5 children that we've raised here in Lehi. And every day is an adventure, that is for sure. And so as we've got family life, then I've also got business life. And I've been in the sales and marketing arena for about 20 years. I've traveled all over the United States and Canada, working with professional sales teams and helping their customers with leading products that help their customers make a difference in their customers' lives. Throughout a lot of this, what I found is that I'm a really great leader by the way that I support others. And so when we kind of look at the purpose of this podcast, the ROI, what is the ROI in all that we're doing here, right? And a lot of times I like to look at it, Cameron, as the ROI is not always monetary, right? I'm a big fan of extracting the lesson out of everyday experiences, and I'm kind of looking at every day is like a job interview and an education, right? So are they going to have me back the next time? And what did I learn from that experience? So super excited to be here. Thanks for having me on.
And that's a perfect segue into kind of what the lesson is honestly, success, and that is predicated upon action, right? And actually taking the lessons again and implementing them in a daily life. And it's about providing value to everyone around you, because you never know who you're going to meet. So going back to, I know we talked about this already, but I had gone to a gym, and that just as part of my daily routine, and that I was going to a gym, trying to get into a program and that to get back on a lot of my muscle mass and that, because after my injuries, I lost a lot. I frankly, I'm not happy with my current physique where it's at, and I wanted to do something about it. And I knew that I needed to take that action, and I needed that kind of accountability coach for that. Well, I went to a gym for a program, and the program that they were offering was a weight loss program. It's like, hey, 8 weeks and that of free or weight training that you pay it all up front. And if you don't meet your goal, and you, as long as you're implementing it and we're doing what they were asked, you would get your money back 100%.
Okay.
Well, and it was great value. And I was like, I love the fact that this person's willing to put their money where their mouth is. I wonder if you can do that with the opposite, which is that. It didn't work out as far as a great fit at that time. But lo and behold, later on, who I found out that person was Alex Hormozy. And if you don't know who he is, he has a podcast called The Game on here. He's a multi-millionaire now, multi-millionaire. And granted, he was not that person at that time, but it doesn't change that we are meeting people like that are in the grind, that are in the hustle, that you don't know are striving successing, but you can tell that they're going to be successful based on the actions that are predicating their life, how they're building their life, how they're executing upon their life to ensure that their success. Because if you can see somebody that's consistently executing, that isn't always just on Instagram doing these little photo shoots and stuff, because those are the people that are faking it, right? They're trying to fake it till they make it, which rarely, if ever, works, right?
Right.
The people that are actually executing in that are actually building value. And Alex and Gary V's and all their, like, those entrepreneurs' values, their principle is very much jab, 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 right hook, which means give, and everything until the right hook, and not just to ask, which is just to ask to say, hey, I've done all this for you and everything. Don't you think you should do something for yourself as well? Does this actually help you or not? And it's not a matter of what they like you think that their pain points are. It's a matter of what they think their pain points are, right?
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
if you're
Right.
selling on crap that they don't care about, that isn't a priority to them, then it's not going to matter. It doesn't matter. And it goes back to, again, even when I sell cybersecurity, if I sell it to a smaller business that could literally get hacked and they don't care about any of their data, like a cabinet shop, the reality is they're not. I'm selling the wrong solution, right? It might be the right solution. It might be in their best interest, but until they have that pain point and understand that priority, they're never going to see value in it, right?
Right. Yeah. You've got to be able to, find a way to extract that value, from their mindset there. But you're not going to get there just by, throwing out cybersecurity at them when it's really not top of mind. What they're struggling to do is like, where's my next, payroll going to be made at, right? Like this. You have other things going on before they can kind of worry
For a
about
wood
that, right?
shop and that, as far as technology goes, it's where can I automate things? Where can I streamline things? Because I cannot find decent labor. I need these tasks automated. I need these streamlined. I need to be more efficient and everything else. What can you do to provide me value there so I can make more money without having to get sucked into all these little meaningless tasks and day-to-day stuff, right? So that's the value, and that's what I have to lead with a lot of those. It's not anything else. And granted, cybersecurity might be part of that solution, but they don't care about it. So why do you just sell them on it, right?
Right.
So it's the same
Yeah.
thing with your clients and that. So Danny here is getting flown out to Dallas here soon to do the integrity selling. I'm not sure if we touched on that or not, son, but
Yeah, no, I'm a certified facilitator for a professional sales training called integrity selling. It's a great process, and the bottom line there, and I think we'll talk about that on another episode too coming up, is that what a sales process is and what that looks like for your business, but really kind of having that defined. But I love working with professional sales reps that are trying to provide a better experience for their customers. And when companies invest into their sales teams, I call it front loading their success. Right, we're going to front load your success, kind of like your gym membership there, right? They're going to front load your success. I mean, they wanted you to pay all up front and everything, but they were going to be committed with you step by step, putting their money where their mouth is, just like you said. And I think you touched on it earlier too, is that,
They don't
those
want
that,
to refund that money. So
yeah, exactly. Nobody wants to return that money. And so that's what's great about what we're building here, Cameron, is this mastermind, right? We're building out this mastermind. It's a free mastermind, and you're going to get out of it what you put into it. Well, what does that mean? It's like, well, you're joining the community. And how do you become part of that community? Well, you commit to it, right? Kind of make it a priority in your life. And if it were me, one of the things that really kind of stands out the most in joining a mastermind is getting in the room. I'm getting in the room with people that have different life experiences and knowledge than I do. And just like you mentioned, the owner of that gym, they're probably unassuming. Who would have thought that they were so, successful now? Maybe they were in the grind, like you mentioned at that time, but getting in the room and making those relationships and leading with some of that value. So that's the first thing that kind of excites me about bringing everybody into this mastermind here, is just simply getting in the room and being a little bit intentional about your engagement there.
yeah, absolutely. And that's an excellent segue into it, which is really, if you are going into a mastermind, and we've all done this, right? We've all gone into a program or a group or signed up for something, and that just to see what value we could take from it, right?
Sure. Take.
But if you change it and you change your perspective to say, what can I give to it? Because this goes back to, again, something we talked about, which was the the fact that your secret sauce, all the expert knowledge that you have, that you think makes you invaluable. Like, why would I give this away? This is what I know, and it makes me stand out from all of my competition. No, the reality is most people aren't as smart as they think they are, and that's really going to hurt. That stings, right? But hold on before you get triggered. The reality is most experts in the industry already know that as kind of a basic common knowledge. And that's the reason that they're higher up in the field. But as you share that, and even if it is somewhat unique take or something unique, now you have instant rapport to experts and industries leaders in the industry that are now willing to pull you up and share or give back as well. So because you were willing to give first, as opposed to kind of just close up a clamshell and just take as a parasite would, right? Just take, and never give. Well, that makes it to where nobody wants to do business with you. Nobody wants to reciprocate that with you. And there's even business owners that I know, they're like, oh, I don't need anybody helps. Nobody else knows what they're talking about. Well, I'm writing a book based on this, which is called You're Not Unique. The reality is most of us have the same problems. Most of us have a family. Most of us have gone through this, being single, have gone through relationship issues, have gone through relationships or issues with kids. And chances are, even if there isn't, there's at least somebody else that is dealing with that same obstacle, and that, whether in business, personal life, or anything else, that can now help you overcome that. That can give you insight and everything else. And so by coming into everything with an open mind that says, hey, they can provide me value, instead of, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, you aren't from my industry, you don't know this or anything else, and shutting that down immediately, that is what's causing a stagnant growth and the inability for you to grow as a person. So if with anything, any business owner that has been in the business for long enough knows that you have to filter through a crap ton of dirt before you ever get the little bits of gold. But that little bits of gold is worth all that work to like excavate and get everything else, because of the value of that those little nuggets.
Right.
And then taking those nuggets and not just throwing them in your pocket, but actually melting them down, refining them, and then rolling them into something that is going to provide you long-term value, right?
Yeah,
Because it sits
absolutely.
in your pocket, it's not going to do anything. But
Yeah.
if you actually implement it as a skill or something, or getting you other tools or resources and stuff that helps you one up or get to the next level, that's really what helps you. And so again, with this group, we really want like-minded individuals that are willing to give, that are willing to look into this, that isn't looking to sell, shove their MLM or whatever nonsense they have, and that and think that you're the best in the industry, right? It's a matter of like, hey, I'm dealing with these challenges. Can I get feedback on this? And then seeing and actually going into that group too to see what you can do to help other people, right?
Right.
It is free. It doesn't mean less value in that, but we want people that are willing to give just as much as they're willing to take. And those are the people that too I'm going to offer like a free one-on-one consulting mastermind and everything else for. Because they're really providing the value, right? They're the ones that keep on showing that they're giving, and that's kind of where I put my mouth where my money where my mouth is, and my time. And that if I see that you're providing value to all these other people, I'm going to invest resources into you to make sure you're successful. And then for the other people, we're going to be doing a paid group, and that for the people that really want to have access to these higher tier entrepreneurs that really are killing it in the midst.
And
But
now
just because you're not there doesn't mean that you won't be able to get those resources, or we won't invest and give you stuff in the free group, right? So anyway, go ahead, Danny.
Excellent. Yeah. So it sounds like we're kind of basically building out two different things here. But the first one is the step in is the free mastermind, right? So we want everybody to be there. We want an awesome community, a community of givers. And we're not telling you to give away your products and services to everybody. Join our group and give everybody your stuff. However, I think what Cameron's saying is that we'd love to have you in here and make yourself a leader. Leading with value, sharing your bits of, pearls of knowledge and wisdom and stuff. A lot of, social influencers and things, they'll say, give your best stuff away for free. And you're like, well, that doesn't exactly sound right. That's where I make my money. But what you'll find, I think, quickly is that as you give, great tips of information for free, and people that are, like Cameron talked about, not special, they're just going to be average and just kind of try to give it a shot. Kudos to them for giving it a shot. But what they'll find is they'll take that free information, and it's a little bit of not in their norm of their skill set. They'll put it to use, and they'll find that they absolutely have some gaps. And as they have some gaps, they might come back to you and say, hey, you know what? I appreciate that information. I gave it a shot. I crashed and burned. Can you help me? And then you've earned the right to be able to, take that offline and see where it goes. Right. So that's number one, is that free group there. And then, anybody that kind of raises their hand is like, hey, I need more direct, consulting or training and coaching on this. Like, where do we go? What's that target group there? What type of monthly revenue, income, and things like that we're looking at in helping those types of people, just so everybody can have a good idea of, what that looks like.
So again, those are the people that are already have established businesses that are really looking for more accountability and looking for access to experts that are willing to sit down and invest personalized and tailored solutions, right? So when you are first in business, and that a lot of off-the-shelf suits will fit you, right? And they work. They get you at least the job. They at least get you your foot in the door and that. But when you get up to a higher tier, and that's where you want something a little bit more tailored, personalized, and customized to you, right? And it just fits better, it works better, and everything else. You get a little bit of better value. And so that is where, again, that is kind of that definitive line, is once you start making it, you start showing consistency with it, you start having that implementation, then you're now at a tier where you can appreciate that and you can afford it, right? But we want to see you thrive and be successful regardless. First, know that what like the core fundamental skills work and are implemented in your life, and then we take it to the next level, right?
Right.
So it's the same thing with the core foundation, and that the core foundation, frankly, is discipline, routine, and again, the really basic skills and that. And also, like, believe it or not, family is a good part of it. If your personal life is in shambles, doesn't matter how great your business is, it will detract and they'll destroy you. That, and a lot of people make that thing where it's like business is business and personal is personal. No, It's the same thing. Stop separating them. Stop putting them in two separate containers, because that's not how it works. Now, you can put it in two different containers as far as time management, and that's going into a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, time
Frankly,
management, work-life balance, and all that stuff. But
yeah,
you've got to have
exactly.
alignment, right? You've got to have alignment across the board, because otherwise you're really clouded and things there. There's a
Yeah, if your
author,
partner's fighting you every single second and everything with every business decision you make, it's going to cause contention in your personal life. It's going to cause contention and rifts in your business. It's going to cause all sorts of stuff. So how can you get everyone in your life and that to at least be in the same direction or the same path? And that's the reality is sometimes it means either cutting those people out. Sometimes it is you realize that you are aligned with the wrong people that are
right?
detracting from your life. There's a lot of things that go into that we'll talk about in our groups and into these podcasts moving forward. But again, we
Yeah,
really want people that are just willing to give the value that help. And it doesn't matter if you're not successful, if you're not killing it, you still have experiences that will help other people. And what the fact what is it when you show consistently that you're willing to give and help other people, and that regardless of expectation, that is like, hey, I'm going to give something and then immediately say, okay, well, are we going to do business now?
no, but
No, that,
I think that goes
that
back
shows
to
that it
like,
was a hook,
that's
right? It was a
exactly
bait
right.
and hook.
It
It
was a
wasn't.
hook, and really, when you're a giver, that's how you fill your cup. I know for me personally, that is right. When I'm out serving other people, helping someone else and stuff, that definitely fills my cup. And again, it's a personal ROI that's coming back my way. Might not come back monetary at this time, but I sure feel great doing it. Right, I'm happy to do those types of things. In fact, I just heard something this morning, something else I was listening to. They said, bring positivity into your life in such a way that you do not fit where you do not belong. And isn't that great, right? Like, we want this to where you fit here and you're going to realize I don't fit there because of the upward mobility, the positivity, the growth, and the value that you can share and also receive from the community. So yeah, super excited to be part of this. It's great.
Well, and sometimes, let's be honest, it's really hard to let go of some of those toxic anchors in our life, whether it is family or friends, and that just because we feel obligated to help them.
Right.
Right. And that's
It's tough.
another whole podcast.
Right.
But again, you will quickly find in that which your community is and what that truly serves you long term. And I understand there's some people out there that were just like I was at one point, which was homeless and barely struggling to make ends meet and doing anything. And it's like, well, what do you tell me? Like, I have to pay bills. I still have to do this and everything. I guarantee if you take the short term sacrifice and for the long term gain, because again, you don't know what bridges you're burning by getting the short term sell. That might give you temporarily relief and everything, or ability to at least pay those bills. But if you don't, if you leave a nasty taste in their mouth, what's the chances that they're ever going to refer you or anything else? And you never know who again you're meeting. And if that person has massive influence in that, and if you were willing to help them instead of just take from them, and they were willing to give you literally a multi-million-dollar contract, and that, not saying that that's going to happen always, but that's literally how I got my company to where it is. And that's what people don't understand is I was literally homeless, and I was literally just doing work and saying, how can I serve you? How can I help you? How can I do this? And I would execute on that really well. And even if I didn't, I would make sure that I would eat it out of my own pocket to make sure that that was taken care of and done
Mm.
properly. And they appreciate that, understood that, and they just kept giving me more work and more work and more work and referring me to other people.
Right.
And that's kind of how we established long-term stability and growth for me to give me what I have now. So
That's
that's
awesome.
what we're looking for. And that's the same principle that you can do. So anyways, I appreciate having you guys listen to this and that. We look forward to growing with you guys. And remember, like, comment, subscribe, and that. Ask any questions. We will look at those, whether it's on YouTube or anything else. Um, we will actually look at those and implement some of those questions that you have from our audience into future podcasts. So if you have any specific questions on any part of this, we look forward to that. And then again, the mastermind right now, at least, will be on Facebook, and we will have some stuff there, but we're going to be across the platform and that as far as that goes. But the main group, the mastermind, and that, if you just look up Consult ROI Group, look at it there, or you can look at our main business page and that, and how to access that. Again, there's absolutely no charge for that. There's no obligation, and we're not going to spam you at all. I hate groups that do that. I'm not going to do that. So it is what it is. If you find value in it, great, and you will see announcements for that. But we're, again, not going to spam that. But Danny will be good part moving forward to help teach that and provide value, and that especially from his both teaching as well as integrity sales and customer service type mindset. So any final thoughts, Danny?
No, this is great. I'm super pumped to be here and look forward to this awesome community that we're going to build. And yeah, let's extract the lessons and the ROI out of everyday life.
Right. Awesome. Well, again, awesome having you guys, and we look forward to seeing you on the next podcast.
Thanks, guys.